Hey guys! I'm actually wearing my pajamas while filming this video, and that is mainly due to the fact that the last couple days have been really exhausting. I spent all weekend seeding tobacco with my family, and school started today, which is... I've had a few problems, and it's not too bad. I mean, it could be worse, but they're only lasting for like 8 weeks, so it's like a lot of learning that's gonna be crammed together, and I'm not sure that I am mentally prepared for that. And since I've been so exhausted, I really didn't feel like changing into my PJs. So I apologize, and I will try not to do this very often. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in February, which was a total of 5 books and 1 manga. And I'm actually going to talk about these books from my least favorite to my favorites. I don't normally do this because I can never choose which books are my favorite, but this month I had a lot of clear favorites. So let's get started. The first book is Keep Holding On by Suzanne Cosanti, and I only gave this book a 2 out of 5 stars. I really like the message that this book conveys, but it just took too long to get emotionally attached to the main character. And there were a lot of things that got repeated multiple times, and for such a short book, that really was not necessary. But like I said, I did like the message that this book was trying to send, so I do recommend this book for anyone who feels like they've been neglected or bullied at home or at school. Next I have volumes 34 through 36 of Skip Beat. And this only got a 3 out of 5 stars. Like many of you probably know, this is one of my favorite manga series, but this one started out extremely slow. And that could be because the character she was acting as in the last bind up kind of stopped at the beginning of this one. And I really liked the character, and I didn't want to see her go, so maybe that's why I felt it was really slow. But it also could have been because I didn't reread the series before I started this volume, which I normally tend to do. And also, for the first time, I found myself very frustrated with the main character Kyoko and how innocent she is. I normally find it adorable and charming, and I really like how it clashes with the main male character's personality. But it was just a little bit too over the top in this volume, and it frustrated me. I'm still going to continue on with the rest of the series because I do expect that things are going to pick up very soon, and hopefully a lot of secrets are revealed. Next is Psi Like You by Cassie West, and I just finished this book 20 minutes ago. This book is basically like all cutesy contemporaries. It's basically there just to be funny and cute, which isn't a bad thing because this is the perfect book to pick up if you just want something light to read, or you're trying to get over a reading slump, or if you're just trying to put yourself in a happier mood, which is something I needed after a couple of depressing books that I read this month. This book follows a girl named Lily and how she has her songwriting notebook taken away in the middle of her chemistry class one day, and she can't concentrate in chemistry, so she writes a lyric to one of her favorite bands on her desk. And she comes in the next day to find that someone has continued with the lyrics. And this starts a cute back and forth between the two. And it's also one of the only ways we really get to know the main male character. There's surprisingly very little interaction between the two main characters throughout the book. It's mainly just us with Lily and her best friend Isabel. I believe that's her name, but I may be wrong, and her family. And it was actually refreshing to read about a family that's crazier than mine is. Sorry for any family members who are watching this video, because I'm sure there's 1 or 2 of you, but our family's crazy. And another thing that frustrated me is the fact that it's very easy to tell who she's writing to. I mean, because he's the only real prominent male in the whole book. I do, however, plan on picking up more of Cassie West's books because I did really enjoy this book, and I have a feeling if her other books are like this, then I can read them anytime I'm in a bad mood and they'll pick me right back up. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Next is Not in the Script by Amy Finnegan. And I've been wanting to read this book for such a long time. I had a lot of interest in the acting business not too long ago, and I felt this book really gave a genuine insight into what it's like to be an actor or actress, and what it's like to be on movie sets, and the gossip that goes around in the news. But I really found this interesting, and it was one of the most in-depth reads I've ever read about the acting business. The main characters are Emma Taylor and Jake Elliott. Emma is one of the most famous actresses in the business, and Jake was a model, but he's getting into the acting business, which is how he got cast as a co-star in Emma's next TV production. There are a lot of obstacles for their relationships, like Emma's past boyfriends and her hang-ups about dating co-stars, and then her mother and best friend are two other major problems. And one of the best things about this book is it's told in dual point of view, so you get to know each of the characters equally. And because of that, you get to know the characters so well, and you just fall in love with them. The only problem is this is the only book written by Amy Finnegan, so I hope she writes more soon. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Next up is Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. This is also told in dual point of view. We have West Ashby, I think that's how you say his last name, I'm not 100% sure. But he is the stereotypical jock of the school. He's handsome, he has all the girls, and he's too cocky and handsome for his own good. At least on the outside. On the inside, he's very broken up and emotional, and he's dealing with a lot of stress since his father is suffering from cancer. And then we have the other main character, Maggie, who hasn't spoken in 2 years after she witnessed her father murder her mother. And it really surprised me how little help she actually had with dealing with that. But this book is basically about those two coming together and helping each other through their problems. And even though this book was very dark and sad, it was also very cute at the same time. I think the only real problem I had with this book was the fact that the characters were kind of too dependent on each other. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just didn't seem very realistic, I guess. I don't know, it's not something I've had to deal with, so I could just be biased on that. But regardless, I love this book, and I've already ordered the second book to the series, Under the Lights, which should hopefully be here soon. And then last but not least, my favorite read of the month was Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I'm so happy that I finally got to read this book, and I feel bad for being happy because I cried through the majority of this book. I shouldn't be happy, but just thinking about it brings a smile to my face because I loved it so much. Even though, like I said, very sad, very dark and sad book. This book follows Leonard Peacock, who on his 18th birthday decides to take his grandfather's World War II gun and kill his former best friend and himself. But this book is just filled with so many feelings and flashbacks, and I had to stretch out this read between 2 days because I couldn't take it all at once. It was just too emotional. The only problem I had with this book is I was not happy with that ending. I wanted something more resolved than that because he's 18, yes, so technically he's an adult now. He can go out on his own. He doesn't have to worry about his parents at all, but he's still in school. I kind of want to see Leonard Peacock go on to college and his life become better and more fulfilling than what it is in this series. Because just Leonard as a character, I fell in love with him. And I also loved how this is one of the few contemporaries out there that has absolutely no romance in it. Can this actually be considered a contemporary? I wasn't sure before if it was or not when I was trying to explain it to my aunts. Because it feels like a contemporary, but at the same time it doesn't. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what genre this is categorized as. And if you don't know because you haven't read the book, go read the book. It is fantastic. And of course, being my favorite book of the month, this book got a 5 out of 5 stars. Well, these are all the books that I read in the month of February. Very happy about this. I'm hoping I can keep up the pace of 5 to 6 books per month. Though, with school just starting, I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna go. But, fingers crossed. You guys should let me know in the comments below what books you read this month. And let me know if you read Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock, because seriously, I need someone to fangirl with. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!